Going back many years ago, when we first started to gather as a community, and there really was no place to gather. If you wanted to support community organizations back then, the places that you had to support were the religious groups, because those were the only organized groups that offered safe space for people to gather in. And I used to send contributions and support to all the religious groups we had, which were about 4 at the time, and I was so pleased that it afforded people a place to go. When we finally had our first community center on Cater Street, it really was a dump. It was really terrible, and it didn't last too long. And back then, when you asked for support for the community, they didn't understand what the community was. We were all single. We were all in the closet or shadowed in our work. We didn't want people to know where we went after hours or what we did. But we did have a community center. We wound up with Penguin Place, and they served a purpose. They were there a few years. And then finally, we came here to William Way. And William Way is the largest, the most organized, the best run facility that we have or many other cities have. For me coming here, I come here for political, I come here for social, I come here for seniors. Last week I came for the rap group to see what that was like. So I follow the activities, although I work every day and I can't always be here. I enjoy having it, and it's certainly a great addition to our community. I wish more people would be cognizant of the community and support the community. When I was young, in my 20s and coming into my early 30s, and I was trying to help the community, I did say that there really was very little recognition of it. But I made a pledge that I would dedicate myself to the community, to supporting the community, and then later realizing the need was for money was funding the community. I quite often will make a contribution and put the community, GLBT community of Philadelphia, on it. When I found out from a previous director about the amount of money they were spending to service the mortgage and how much it was taking away from the operational budget that they had, I sort of made a pledge that I was going to find a dozen angels and we would pay off the mortgage. It's rather interesting because I ran an ad in the Gay News over a period of weeks seeking an angel, and never got a single response. And as I approached people on that subject of trying to reduce the mortgage, nobody really wanted to reach into their pocket and write out a substantial sum. So in the end, I just called the Dolph one day and said, give me a balance for payoff. I'm going to send you over a check. And he was dumbstruck about it. The next day he came over and I gave him a check to pay off the mortgage. And he told me, he said, that gives us almost $50,000 more a year that we aren't going to service a mortgage to put into programming. And I thought it was very meaningful, which is what prompted me to do it to begin with. And it was shortly thereafter that we started the Gay College, and we started offering classes here in the center. I started coming to the senior meetings. I'd never been to them. I work every day. That's held during the weekday at late morning. But I started coming, and I wanted to try to see what they actually had to do and how active they were. And I've been now coming on and off basis for the last few months. They get involved in a lot of activities. They have people coming in to speak to them and to encourage them in terms of health, in terms of being social, about any aspect of their lives that they can. One of our community members, who's been around for many, many years, she certainly does a lot with trying to organize it. I give him contributions, support him, what he's trying to do. When I came in here, I just passed a remark to somebody that was leaving. They're just coming out of a function. And my line back to them was, well, at least we own the building and we can feel at home here. It is home. It's the first time Philadelphia's had a home that they weren't paying rent for. It's the first time they had a building where when they did improvements, they belonged to us. They belong to us. They belong to the next generation. It's a place where all ages are welcome. It's a place where I'm in the hotel business. We have gay guests staying with us. We will quite often refer them here to the community center if they want to see our community center. If they have any questions, if they want to look at the programming, we have it available. So it's nice for a city to be able to show off the fact that we have a community center. It may not be as new as some other cities, but we certainly put enough time and effort in trying to keep it up. I think the future looks very bright for us. People are coming out more and more than ever before, and they're coming out with a sense of responsibility to get involved, to reach into their pocket or to write a check. And I think that bodes well for us. I'm so surprised every month when I read the newsletter that I get, and I have to go through every line and every page to see what's being offered for the month. And I'm quite often I'm surprised at the art, at the jazz, at the various things that come in here. And I have the board to thank for that, and maybe Chris Bartlett particularly. But I think it's a very good show. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. But it's worth it. Well worth it.